Okay, let's start then. Okay, we're gonna start. Good day, dear ladies and gentlemen. Welcome everyone to the webinar by Mr. Debabrata Mukherjee. He is an expert from India, and he is a Ministry of Tourism of India approved professional tourist guide with huge experience. Today, he will tell us about post-pandemic challenges for guides, and he will share the titles like the challenges with tourism going to face, then the challenges with guides going to face, how to stay afloat, and how to handle the visiting guests after pandemic situation. So let me give the floor now to Mr. Debabrata Mukherjee, and today's session will be interactive, and don't be shy to ask your questions and to communicate. Please, Mr. Debabrata.
Okay. Namaskar. Can I start now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Namaskar and Assalamu alaikum, friends of Uzbekistan, my guide friends. In the beginning, I should start with my thanks to Tourism Development Institute and the State Committee of Uzbekistan, and of course, my two great friends in there, Elena Galisheva and Zarina Valieva. It's my really pleasure, and I really feel elated that this is a chance once again, quite after 1 year, to visit Uzbekistan. It feels like that. In fact, when we are in these webinars, we feel like that we are there only. So it's time we are going through a very, I would say, not difficult, but a challenging time, or a time without question hours that we are here. I would, take this webinar or this meeting with you all, my friends, is not a teaching session. Like I think other webinars, we all generally talk about this kind of webinars, we teach people and all. But here, I will just talk a little bit about the 4 points we are supposed to say, and then we'll just go for the interaction. Interaction means you will be asking the questions, or I'll be also asking the questions, because my knowledge about is not full. We are guides. We think that we know everything, but not always we know everything. So I'll be asking some questions too, and you'll be replying me. You know that I'll be speaking in English. Sorry, I can speak Russian or Uzbek or other languages. So I'll be speaking in English. And I must tell you one thing to let you know about India, that in India, we speak English very fast. Because though it's a foreign language, but as we were under the British rule for 190 years, we used to get the job according to our knowledge of English. So we speak English very fast. That's a problem. So in any point, if you don't understand my language, please raise your hand or simply say, please speak slowly. I don't mind. And that's the thing I generally tell my guests, my tourists, comes to India also when I work. So another thing I must say that please don't be shy to ask your question. I'll be very happy to get your question, and I would like to give you the answers as much as possible from my knowledge. I am doing this guiding job from 1990, so it's about 30 years now. 31st year, in fact, I am doing the guiding. So I have made the guiding time when it was a lot of tourists and only very little number of tourists, guides, in fact. So we had a huge number of jobs, and it was very lucrative. You know that all these guides things and there, and we had the shopping commission and all these things. So most of the guides of that time was very, well off. But what's happened? India is a very big country. It's a huge country with a lot of possibility. So we have the regions and number of guides are more. But here, I don't know how many guides work in registered guides with the institute working in Uzbekistan. I would ask later Zarina or someone of you can tell me how many guides work in Uzbekistan. I don't have any idea. I forgot to ask that one to Zarina. However, now the first thing I'm supposed to talk about is the problem faced by the tourism. Do I need to tell about that? I think we all know mostly, and other webinars must have told you that what is the problem we are facing now in tourism. Because this pandemic, this COVID-19 pandemic, it hit every sector of life, every walks of life, everybody. But which hurt or which hit maximum is the tourism. We are the first to get the heat, get the temperature or the heat from this, the COVID-19. All the tourists, all the guests who are traveling by middle of March, they all disappeared. All disappeared. I was doing one, the assignment just after 2 days. It was a 15-day assignment, and after 2 days, we have to stop that cruise. I was on a cruise boat over the river Ganges, and we have to stop that cruise. And then after that, all the tourists, they just played away. And what happened? We lost our job. And what will happen? All these things, hopefully this pandemic will be over soon. We all pray for that. It should be over. And guests will start coming. But when? All our, the bookings, all our bookings are getting canceled. All our, the future, the assignments get canceled. So maybe, even if we hope, we are very hopeful, very positive, very, looking at a holistic way in the front. But still, we know in this season, not the coming season, in 2021, we might not get many tourists. Tourists mean for us, or which gave us a job, that's the foreign tourists. So what will happen? So we kind of not get the tourists till, I think, the next season, that is from the 21-22 in India. And what will happen? After the tourism, most of the people, they will not go out of their country. They will travel inside their country or to the places where they feel safe. They will feel safe that they will not contaminate any kind of disease. If they have the comorbidity, they will not. What kind of guests we get? Mainly the guests which take the guides, they are limited. There could be a lot of tourists traveling all over the world. There could be a lot of tourists coming in your country. We might see in the list of the immigration list or in the airlines list, a lot of foreigners are coming in. But how many of them take the guides? We know about that the tourism, we have got the 5 pillars, we say. First one, of course, for us, because the travel agents and the tour operators or the hoteliers, they employ us. So the first pillar is the travel agents and the tour operators. Even before that, though, the tourism department or like this institute or the tourism departments are there who just do the propaganda and all that. But the first one is the tour operators and travel agents. Second, the airline, they bring the people in. Third, the hotels, which keep the tourists, or the transporters. And last one, the guides. But what happens? We are the last one. But though we are the most important one, because the guests, they meet us, we handle them. They talk with us. They might write 1 or 2 emails with the travel agents, but generally we are the people which handle the actual guests. They talk with us, they travel with us, they learn of our country, they fall in love with the place just for us, just because of us. Because we tell them about the stories, about the history, geography, whatever. We just take them to the culture. We just meet them to the local people, to the market. So they fall in love. And once they get back, they give the feedback and we get more tourists then on. So our job is the most crucial job. But what happens is travel agents and tour operators and others, they just think we are the lowest one, in fact. So they just don't, just sell us. They just don't tell people you have to take a guide to understand the people. And also the tourists who take us, they must pay for us. So to curtail the cost of the tours, the tour operators, sometimes they make the place of the guide as optional. So they can take the guide or not take the guide, just with the driver they can travel. So then the problem faced by the guides is that to save the cost of the tour, because the cost of the tour will go up, because to make them adjusted with the norms of the tourism now, they will make it the tour operators, because the hotel will be more expensive, the airlines will be expensive, the transport will be expensive because of the number of people in one vehicle or one room or the airline seats. They have to cut the cost, and where they will cut, which is optional, the guides, but they will not try to take the guides. That's one negative points there it could be. So our point is that they should take the guides that way. So how to stay afloat in in this condition, how we can survive? We have to survive to make us important and to prove to the tourists, to the travel agents, to all these other stakeholders that the guides can only keep the guests safe from any kind of diseases, from any kind of mishappen. The guides, as they say, that the guides are the cultural ambassadors. We are not only the cultural ambassadors, we are the police, we are everything for the guests because we protect them too. So we have to make that point clear to the travel agents and tour operators. We have to call them now to say that, okay, we are there to keep your guests safe so that they can get back, tell their guests, tell their friends, tell the other people, put the feedback that we were safe with the guide. We are safe with this and that person. So they can take us. So we have to keep contact with all the travel agents and tour operators during this time to keep us afloat there. I will talk about that coming up to how to stay afloat there later. And then the last point that we talked about now to how to deal with the guests in the post-pandemic situation. That most of the tourists though now will be traveling inside their country or the nearest country they know. We were lucky because we have got all these 5 countries, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, like that. So I think the people will be coming from there. And as you were a part of the USSR before, so even the Russian people, they might be traveling to you. So you don't need to bother, I think, that much. Don't get scared because I think still the people who were in the previous USSR, they will think that it's the part of their country. Though you are now having a separate country and you are doing fine with your the president and the prime minister and all these departments, but I still think that you will get the guests because they will be traveling to you. But country like India, which is totally separated, and we have a huge population with a bad name of we had that we have got the poverty and the hygienic condition bad, etc. We have really a lot of problem in India. And also the tourism department is not, I must say, please keep it hidden from the tourism department of us, that is not that helpful as yours. I can see that you are doing such a good job here to organizing the webinar. Those are tourism department doing the webinars, but we are not helped that much, I think, in a way. But as you were doing this, so I think that when the guests actually will come, the foreigners will come, you must now contact your previous guests who were here to travel to Uzbekistan before. So when these people come to Uzbekistan, or you just keep contact with them, write them, send email, how are you? And just write them that, okay, we are just taking this in this and that kind of, the kind of protective measures. So you will be totally safe here. Our hotel are sanitized, our people are sanitized, we are sanitizing everything, restaurants and all, and we'll be taking full good care of you. So please come. So once you say that to your guests, maybe you never know, out of 50, if the one or two come, that's enough for the beginning. And once they get back, after getting a good, the support and a good tour, uh, after traveling with you, they might give you that, they will just, spread that news. Because people, I think that we have got two things in our front. One is negative, that the people will not come. The second thing is that everybody, you just feel, even us, we are feeling that kind of, really suffocated. And people will try to go out after that. And also they will feel, maybe that in some countries they will feel that is, okay, there is no meaning. It's a philosophy that they will feel that, okay, that we are not, how long we will be alive, we don't know. So why not you enjoy the life, travel places and see places and enjoy? So they will be coming. People will be coming. So I just say positive that things too, and we have to make them positive that way. So during the post-pandemic situation, we the guides, we need to be very, very careful. First thing is that we should tell people that is we must present ourselves once we meet the guests, once they start coming, as a really, there's a, we say in India, I must say in Indian words, Pahle Darshan Dhari. The first thing, you must look. People will get attracted to you to look. And here the look means you must look healthy and positive and confident. That's always we need. Healthy, positive, confident. So you must look healthy. So this is the time when you are at home, practice and make yourself more healthy look that way. And positive look, smiling and all that one. I know you are all smiling and nice. And when we work, we always try to keep that, that kind of positive mood in our work. So when we handle them, try to keep yourself as if you are really professional, how you know to keep yourself safe for any kind of bacterial or viral attack. So we have to show them, and we have to teach our transporters, especially the drivers and restaurant people who might not follow that one and not that much educated. We have to teach them how to follow those so that the guests will feel safe from that. So that's there. So uh, yeah, so it's we'll see that one that we can continue with that. I think I have just touched which will say. So now we will ask that you to ask question. You can ask question and Zarina can give me the translation if needed. So please ask your question.
Dear participants, please feel free to ask your questions. Do you have any questions to Mr. Debabrata Mukherjee? Maybe some questions from audience?
You can ask any question, not only about this. You can ask any question on the art. I am not saying that I know everything on the art, but I can, if you ask questions about India, about anything, or any question about anything.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah, is there any support from the government of India for the, let's say, tourism representatives in India, like for guides, for travel agents, as nobody has business now? For the last 2 or 3 months already, we're out of business. Is there any support, financial, or I don't know how it works in India?
I got it. Yeah. To tell you frankly, that I told already that we are writing to the Ministry of Tourism. We are writing to the travel agents. Even even the travel agents, some of them, they are not paying our legitimate, the invoices which we have already worked. They are not paying. They are saying we didn't get the money or whatever. They are not paying. But we asking the government to pay, and I should not say that one, that is our ministry is not listening to us at all. The tourism ministry, they are not talking about to give any kind of any kind of help, monetary help, I mean the financial help. And in fact, in India, it's going on for the regional level guides. In India, we have various categories of guides. We are the regional level guides for the highest category, or the rate card holder, we call us. Then they have got the state guides. In India, we have got many states, about 29 states are there now. So we have got the state guides. They can just guide along their states. Like we have got, I think, the 9 states in Uzbekistan. So. And then we have got the monument guides, means they just stand in the monuments and they just guide there. And then we have got a huge number of unauthorized guides who doesn't have any kind of training. We call them lapkas, and they just catch people from the airport, catch people in the monument front, and they just guide without any kind of rate. With the RLGs, we have a stipulated rate which fixed up by the Travel Agencies Tour Operators Association and us, and approved by the Ministry of Tourism. We can only charge for that. So we are the registered guide by the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. So far, they are trying to, promote another cadre. Instead of the regional level guides, they are going to start from next year the facilitator. I don't know what from they got that word. It's for all over India, and they will take up the guides. We have a really great problem going on with the tourism ministry. And then second thing is that when we ask for some help, financial help, very little, they'll do it, because you know that not all the guides are the same. We are the freelancers. So the travel agents, they have their choice of guides. Some guides, they get the chances, they are talkative or something, so they get the good feedback from the tourists and they get the more jobs, more assignments. So they can survive perhaps. But some of the guides, they don't get that much of assignments, or the young guides just in the assignments now. So they need the help, but the government so far did not say anything about that. We are just, the ministers and others, they're talking about all the things. They're talking about the travel agents, they're talking about the tour operators, they're talking about even the transporters and hoteliers, all that, but not talking about the guides. As I said before, we have the 5 pillars, starting for the tour operators, travel agents, airlines, hotels, transporters, and guides. But as we are the optional for the tourism, as we are the optional, because a guest can take a guide or not, so they just say that, okay, guys, they are alive or dead, no matter, kind of that, the feelings like that. So it's our own responsibility to keep us afloat. We have to learn the swimming to, cross this, the pandemic river that time. So we have to keep ourselves. The tourism ministry so far did not hand out any kind of help to ours.
Yeah, it sounds like the guides are almost like stepchildren to your Minister of Tourism, exactly like in Uzbekistan. Yeah, sounds like the same. And yeah, I've got one more question. You were talking about unauthorized guides who are working without any license, without any, let's say, paying the taxes. Is your government or Ministry of Tourism doing anything against that? I mean, any actions against illegal guides, unauthorized ones?
Yes, that we always talk about this. We have a very special word, lapka. Lapka means who jumps into the assignment or jumps from the tourist and try to get the assignment. We have a really big problem. Perhaps in India, we have got certain sweet spots. Like we call it a golden triangle. It comes with the Delhi, the capital, then the Agra, the Taj Mahal, and Jaipur, the Rajasthan, which is very beautiful, colorful. Most of the tourists, 70% of the tourists comes to India, they visit this golden triangle. So the people, and some parts of Rajasthan there, and Khajuraho as well nowadays, and Varanasi maybe. But to us, I'm from Calcutta or Kolkata, which is a eastern region. We don't get many tourists. Even then, nowadays, with the help of the internet, everybody can write in the internet, nice website and all that, and they start telling them as guides, and they're jumping in. We just, get it noted with the tourism department or the Ministry of Tourism that we are having problem, and these labkas, they are creating not only the problem, they are dangerous. They have got the bad, reputation to take people to the dingy places, means places, the shops, and they cheat them, or using the various kind of things. So, they just cheat people generally, and they don't have that much knowledge because not that knowledgeable. Like you see that we have got the guys who has got the PhD or the doctorate degrees. Mostly of us are the postgraduates and special, language skill, etc. But they don't have. But we told the tourism department, but still in India, except in one or two places, we don't have the tourism police, or the police department is not at all aware about these guiding things, who are the registered guides, who are the labkas, like that, who are these non-registered guides. But we are trying to do that one with the tourism thing. So what's happened now, the tourism department itself, they are taking off this guide cadre, and they are taking all these, uneducated or less educated people, trying to put them in this, telling their facilitator, because the government try to show that they are just, giving the employment to the people, not to the quality, but to the quantity. That's going to be happening in India. So it's not a very good thing going on in India. We are not getting that much of help against these facilitators. So what's happening, like the big places, like in Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, the regional level guides or the RLG, that's which we are, they have their own association, as we said, the unique, and they have the unity, so they try to fight against them. But what's happening now, because this group of ours, we are limited, maybe 400, but those kind of people, they are more in number. Anybody can be that without any license. So they are more in number. So they are just making their own union, and they are stronger, getting stronger. So in fact, these unauthorized guides are stronger in union than the authorized guides or the Ministry of Tourism guides. So we are not getting much help from them, but we are trying. We are trying every time we meet that, the ministers or others, or our department, we talk about that, but the talk goes on, nothing happens, kind of that.
Thank you. There's a last question I've got is the forecast. When you think the tourism in India will recover?
Actually, that's our first phase of unlocking started, and we are going in a steady. If you check our, the pandemic situation, we are now going in steady. Means kind of every day another 10,000 people getting only that. If you see that the population of India about 1.36 billion now, so the latest one 1.36 billion. So only 10,000 people getting every day now. About 10,000 people getting attacked. Out of them now, the recovery rate is about 50% recovery. Morbidity is about 400 plus people are dying, and out of them quite a lot of comorbidities. So we are kind of controlled situation, and we are hoping that the vaccine and the antibody will grow in the people, and already started growing. We have found in about 5% people the antibody already grows. So it could be controlled. But as I said, the government saying that the recovery started. We have already opened some big hotels and some small hotels. The government run lodges are getting open slowly. The transports are getting open slowly with a lot of restrictions. Suppose only 2% can go in the back, like those. In the big bus, only certain half of the seats can be filled so that the people can have the spaces. And the hotels also can, accommodate only 50% of their capacity. So the cost of the things are going up. And even the international flights are still not on, but maybe from the middle of July, I think it will be on the international flights. But that is more and more for the, I think it will be more like the people who are coming for work or not the tourists. And I think that the tourists, will not take the risk to go out of their country because their country will not allow. Or most of the countries, they have already, released kind of note, don't go outside the country for tourism purpose or without any proper purpose, it says. They don't say tourism purpose, they say without any proper purpose. So though we are opening the borders, some of the countries, they opened the borders, but the tourists, they are not allowing to go out. So even we are opening the hotels, yes, some of the hotels are already opening. They're cleaning and they are giving the packages. So what's going on now? Government and also everybody trying to encourage the domestic tourism. We are giving a good package to the domestic tourists. Even the big 7-star hotels in our state, they are giving a family package for the weekend, family package for the days they work, or they're saying you will get in 50%, you will get a 25% less in the restaurant. They're giving a good package for that domestic tourism. But though the government is trying to recover, it will take time. I think, like you also know, this year, 2020 is going to be dry for guides like us mostly.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Very informative.
Thank you. Anybody else, Zarina? Please raise your hands and Zarina can add you. Zarina, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. So,
okay, any question, or if you have any question, you can ask too. If anybody else has any question.
Maybe nobody has a question, right?
Ask them to not to get shy. They can ask you the question in Russian, and you can tell me. And sorry, I can try to speak in slow English.
Уважаемые участники, если у вас есть вопросы, задавайте. Можете на русском задать, мы переведем. Если нет вопросов, то продолжим. I think there's no questions.
I think so. If you have any question, you can ask. I think that the people are mostly getting bored now in this. I must tell you that during Israel, we are all kind of, especially the guides, we are in the kind of awe or a fear that this 2020 is going to be dry for the guides mostly. And we are already about 3 months at home. Is a claustrophobic and bored because we guys, I don't think that I have stayed at home after 1990, 30 years, continuously 3 months, anytime. Never stayed more than 3 days or 4 days at home during this last 30 years. And I think most of the guys who work, we are just, just habituated to, feel that outside. And now we are at home or maybe just going out and no guides, no touring. We are just dying to take tourists and doing that, but we cannot. So I think that even we are just trying to, we are getting, our sense of focusing a little bit less. So one thing that I must say that the sense of focusing is needed and sense of, that we need to do now, the need of the hours, that we must practice certain things which will help us after the post-pandemic. Like we should learn to, some extra, the things that which can help you. Like this is the time we can, in India, most of us is practicing yoga. That's a good thing to do that one. So once your people come and all that, we can start learning. I know that most of the guides, they learn the first aid. So try a little bit of the first aid. I do teach first aid in your courses, Zarina?
Yes.
The first aid, the health, yeah. Do you teach them the first aid? First aid when the people in the medical need and all that one?
Sorry, can you repeat the...
I say, do you teach the first aid when someone gets sick during the tour, some guests, the guide should know a little bit of the first aid or some medical, the emergency situation to handle?
Yes, yes, yes. I think they teach. I don't have the clear information about this because I never. Yes, my department is really different, and I never participated on their lectures.
Okay. So I think that you should have, you must have that one, the syllabus, but the guides should learn a little bit more. And they should learn about, like in India, we have the facility. You just, as Ruchi wrote that one a little bit before, you should start to, they explore the possibilities to, learn something more and make us more, equipped. So that in case of emergency, we should learn not only the first aid, we should learn about a little bit of yoga, a little bit of the massage, a little bit of the giving. If someone gets fainted during the tour or feeling unwell, how to deal with them. We should learn those things. And also we can learn something more, some extra language maybe, or maybe something special, some cooking, because a lot of people come to India to learn the Indian cooking. So I think that the people, when they come, I would say that for my own traveling, because I am in this job out of my passion. It's not only for my job, it's my passion to guide people. In fact, I like to guide people because I love my country. I think that all the guides, they love their country. That's why we are in this profession. Because if you don't love it, you cannot learn it and you cannot teach it then. Because we guides are basically teachers. So that we have to learn everything. So that's why you should learn little bit of the cooking or take the people to the how to cook. So when you just giving some food, the local food to the people, you can tell them how to cook it. It'll be very interesting to know that how you cook different kind of food there. Or there's the dresses, how to dress up, or when do we dress it, more about our festivals and culture. And you've got a really very beautiful nature. I love that. I still love this place that last year when you were there and we visited that Charbak Lake. It was so beautiful there and I have a nice beach there. We enjoyed that. And really nice, that one. So go to that Charbak Lake there. I think I told you that is Susarina, that Charbak is the name of my son there. It's a great saint, is one of the great philosophers of India, Charbak. So we have a great philosophy after his name, after the Charbak. I don't know where you got that name, but the Charbak in India is a very famous name as a philosopher there. So we have to learn this and we have to, kind of assimilate or kind of tell the people that what is this food contains and how to cook. We have such a nice, the dry fruits market and all that, how to make the dry fruits, how they work and all. So if we know about that, I know most of you know about those things, but knowing a little bit more about those things to get you equipped and also to know more about these viruses and how to keep away the tourists and yourself from these during war. We have to learn about that. I think that is, if anyone else has any great questions, Zarina, you can ask me, or if you have any question, ask me or anyone, or you can just go on about that.
Good morning.
Hi, good afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Michael Shamshidov, and I do tourism for 20 years. And last year, I also doing in partnership the guide search service in Uzbekistan, call it getguide.uz. And while we are trying to promote this new technology, we face a lot of difficulties in like, let's say, it's mental difficulties, because people are not, guides and tour operators as well, they are not very much biased and interested to use the technology for the process of like finding guide, yeah, especially when it's urgent, when it's necessary. Because our service is B2B, and it was not created in Uzbekistan. It was created in Israel, and it's working very well. So, but we are trying to implement it for Uzbek market as well. So my question is, what kind of technologies do you I mean guides and also maybe your federation, like a body, use for increasing the effectiveness of interaction between guides and tour operators, or if it is like maybe there are some B2C services. Of course, we know international services. There are several guide search international services like tours by locals. Get your guide sometime, somehow. Yes, also finds guide. But what local Indian? Do you have any local Indian solutions, technical solutions for that? And what do you use in your practice?
You mean your question is that how to keep with the guides and tour operators, travel agents?
Yeah. What kind of technology do you use for guide search, or like a kind of interaction between guide and the travel company?
Okay.
How do they find a guide? Okay. I will simplify my question. How do they find a guide in India? In B2B market, I mean, for travel agencies to find a guide when they need a guide, or their guides are busy.
I got it. Got it. So that is in India, I say that we have different kind of guides. That the regional level guides, we are all registered with the Ministry of Tourism, and they have our list. So, and also the tour operators, travel agents, and they have got their associations, and they are connected with the Ministry of Tourism. So when the guide list, we need to renew our licenses, and the guide list gets renewed. Once the guide gets renewed, that is sent by the Tourism Ministry to the authorized tour operators, travel agents, as well as we have got this TGFI or the local units, as we have got many different states and cities. What we do, we have that list with us too. So we send that to them, because we have got the tour operators association, like the IATO, there's the Indian Association of Tour Operators. Then you have the TAI. Then you have got different kind of there, AOTI, when the adventure tour operators are there. So the guide list is sent to them, and they have the list of the guides, and according to that, they call us or email us, and they book us. Like even the foreign tour.
Mr. Okay. Sorry for interruption. Did you finish your explanation?
No, you just tell me anything.
Yeah, because everybody, we also have the same list in Uzbekistan, but it's we can't call it technology. I am about how to quickly find a guide. Do you use any kind of technology? Because to look through the list.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, it's very time consuming, and when it is a high tourism season, you don't have a time to go through all the list, and send email or call or this.
I got it. I must tell you that in India, we have that different places. So we have the different areas. They have got the zones, they have the guides. We talked about to make some apps to get the guides, but what's the problem in India is that the travel agents and the shopkeepers, the transporters, they have got their own groups. One travel agent have got their own choice of guides. They cannot take, not all the guides have got the same quality. To keep their guests happy, to get good feedback from the guests, the travel agents and tour operators, they try to employ their panel of guides. Suppose I'm in the panel of 5 travel agents because they like me. Or maybe the sum of the guys, we are in everybody's panel. So they call them. We don't have any kind of apps for that. We talked about that, to make an app so that they can simply put that. But however, we made it in our association at least. We have with the local tour operators and the agents, or the, we call the handlers, tour handlers. We have in the same WhatsApp group. We are in the same WhatsApp group or same in a group. So if they, during the season, they put in the group, or we have the TGA association. So they put in the group, and TGA association put in our guides group there too. Or from the tourism professional, especially in Calcutta, in our state, we have a group with the tourism and the tour operators and the transporters and all the, what we call it, that the stakeholders. So they just put it there, and even the hotels, big hotels, because they have some direct guests sometimes. So they simply put that one, okay, today within 1 hour, we need one guide. And we just simply, everybody says, so everybody just, okay, I'm free. And then they can contact direct by phone because rates are fixed here. So there is no question of asking for the rates, etc. So that way, only in the WhatsApp group, we have that one. But to tell you frankly, till then, they do that one only after they call their own panel of guides, whether they are free or not. They will take that pain of calling them. Even the high season, suppose the last season was really a high season, really very, very high season. We were really very happy till March, the 15th, everybody was kind of, booked. And they were going without guides. And that was good for us and bad for us because that was the time when those lobsters jumped in, means those unauthorized guides jumped in and do that one. So that is how they do that. But otherwise, as you say, for the guides platform, even we do that one, I think in India, because it's a kind of, they have the plan. So suppose that the travel agents, they have got some contact with some shops because in those big triangles, there are big shops. And the shopping commission is a very good thing, big thing in the certain areas of India. So the travel agents, they get the main maximum thing, it's not the guide. So they ask the guide that they should, and the transport of the driver, they should take to certain shops. And if the guide comes from a different one, they will not like it. They might take to some other shop where there is a little bit much better in a way. So they will know that one. So but we have got the websites and all that one. People can directly, the guide, people can directly contact us too. But still, it's what you said, the direct contact between the travel agent and the guide in one platform is not yet done because of a lot of this kind of internal problem.
Yeah, thank you so much. So during your explanation, I realized that we have totally same model of work, but just a messenger different, because in Uzbekistan we don't use WhatsApp, we use Telegram. But totally same model. I think it works like this everywhere in the world. Yeah. What I was about, so some technologies to simplify even the search of guide in the big group, because when it is group like of several hundred or maybe even several thousand of guides and tour operators in one group, and when somebody posts request, 100 people need to read it, yes, and they lose time because, for instance, everybody is trying to check. So, and we are in GetGuide, we are about the technology, how to simplify it. So you just with one click can send a request.
We use the WhatsApp. We use the WhatsApp.
Yeah, WhatsApp, but WhatsApp group, it's not efficient because so many people are reading other people messages, so they are losing time to read the messages they don't need.
We use the first one. Is that the first come first serve in there? So if whenever there's suppose some hotel put that one, the first person clicks that, okay, I am free, so then they will talk. There's no question of other people's talk.
I see.
So that's it.
I see. Thank you so much, Mr. Debabrata. And I see Miss Singh is also advising us something in comments.
Yeah, thanks. We are all the brothers, that we have the same condition going on everywhere.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see. Yeah, welcome. I think Zarina is getting to, yeah.
Thank you very much, Mikhail, for your interesting questions. So if there's no other questions, maybe we can finish our session.
Зарина, я извиняюсь, там мисс Саркар, Лена Саркар, у нее есть вопрос.
Хорошо, отлично. There is another question from Miss Yelena.
Good afternoon. Myself, Lena from Calcutta. I have got just one query from you and Debabrata also. Can we just have a coordination between the government of Uzbekistan or the tour operators of Uzbekistan with the Guide Federation of India, so that when you are looking for guides, you can directly contact, suppose someone from your country is coming to Delhi or Jaipur or Calcutta, you can directly contact us, I mean, in that website, and then to get the names of the guides, so that instead of searching for so many hundreds, just like Mikhail told a few minutes back, so you can get the name of the guides. And like that way, when from India, people will go to Uzbekistan, they can communicate with you, so that we have got the name of the guides and who will be available during that phase. Can we do that? Thank you.
Thank you.
I think, Zarina, first I take and then you can understand what her question actually is. I think, Lina, what you asked is a kind of a little bit impossible, because the tourists, they come to the travel agent, and it cannot be ordered by the tourism ministry or anybody to ask the travel agent to do anything. It's their business. So they can choose which agency will do, they will order work with, and the agency in India, they will fix up the guide. Suppose from India, anybody going to Uzbekistan through any agency. So the Uzbekistan agency will fix up the guide. It's their choice, their panel of guides. So I don't think it's possible to fix up the guides that way, unless it's a limited number of guides, and the guide, every guide gets the same number of job by a roster. If the guides in a roster and they have to be appointed, it is a rule by the ministry, then it's possible, which is not possible, I think. So to employ the guides in a roster. Otherwise, if that is done, the guides will not, the other guides, they will say, why not? I'm not getting the job. So it should be in a roster. I mean, it should be one after the one. Everybody should get the job. So it is not possible to do from agency to agency, because every agency has their choice of panel of guides, as I was telling Mikhail before.
Thank you very much. Maybe we can think about this. Yes. And time is finishing. So maybe we can think about this. Maybe we can share each other the big list of certified guides and very professional ones. So maybe we can have register list, and then after make an app, like Mikhail said before. Maybe it's a future project.
I have a question. How many registered guides do you have in Uzbekistan? You know?
Yes. It's about 2,300.
Oh, that's a lot. In India, we have got about 3,251 according to the letter of ministry, but we think 3,500 we generally say, but it's 3,251. So we have a list of that one, and you have a list of that one. So we can share, at least the TGFI can share the list of the registered guides, because we have that. So, but I think that sharing that list 3,500 guides with agencies, and the agencies doesn't know the quality of the guide. So when they send that one, that someone to with a guide and get a bad feedback, the agencies will not like that for us. But we can do that. We can just share the list of guides.
Okay. This is a really hard question.
I think the time is going up. So I must say thank you to all that. And I think that some of the, the participants were quite shy that way, or a little bit bored. So however, I just say thank you. The Tourism Development Institute. Thank you, Elena Galisheva and Jarina Valieva, and all my friends, my fellow guides in Uzbekistan. And it's a real great opportunity for me and from the Indians or the Indian guides to talk about things. I think that I told all the inner stories of India, because as a guide, I think that I should be true. That is one thing for a guide, be true. Whatever you know, even if, because nowadays with the internet, everybody can have the knowledge of kind of everything from the internet. So there is no question of hiding any truth about anything. So be true. And I think that the Uzbekistan and India can have some better relation. We can try some, paid people that when the pandemic is over, we can try people to go cross sectors, that go to Uzbekistan and you can come to India and try to help each other. Okay. Once again, namaskar.
Thank you very much. Dear participants, thank you for joining us. And today it was a webinar by Mr. Debabrata Mukherjee, experienced guide of India. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye all.